we need to bundle up. The temperatures are dropping quite dramatically overnight tonight. Cold Arctic air has returned, and there doesn't seem to be, well, there's a little bit of reprieve in sight, but that doesn't last long, and then we get back into the cold by this time next week as well. Just the messenger. We're going to take a look actually at what happened this past weekend. Well, we have temperatures that are going to be cold. There's not that much snowfall necessarily in the forecast, unless you go up toward the shorelines of Georgian Bay and Lake Huron, where there are some watches, snow squall watches and warnings in place. Then you can bring out the snowmobile. Short-term forecast for Toronto, accordingly for the snowfall. There's going to be a lot of it. We have watches and warnings now from Environment Canada all along the shorelines here because of the winds over the lakes, and that is dumping between 5 and 15 centimeters of snow in these regions. Now, travel, in terms of travel around the GTA, shouldn't be influenced too much by this until you get down into the south and west. Highway 402, parts of the 401 may be slippery at times with the snowfall crossing over. And then 7-day forecast in Toronto in terms of temperatures, well, we stay cold. Tomorrow is definitely a cold one. It moderates a little bit here, and wind chills in the minus, mid-teens. Not too bad for mid to late January. We get a little bit of a break this upcoming weekend. Well, folks in Kitchener are waking up to some colder temperatures, certainly than what we saw this past weekend. You can see Market Square there off in the background. So in Kitchener, in Waterloo even, temperatures over the weekend fluctuated because, well, in the case of Waterloo on Saturday, we saw some flurries. Temperatures weren't all that bad. It wasn't until Sunday. So we do have some watches and some warnings in place right now from Environment Canada. Strathroy and London are under warning, and then you've got snow squall watches now that extend up toward Barrie. So Georgian Bay and Lake Huron are providing us with some snow. And this is as a result of the front having passed through. The northwest winds have been kicking up, and we're going to continue to see those squalls and that snowfall throughout the day today. In terms of the short-term forecast for the GTA, and we're going to be seeing some snowfall. So if your travel plans do take you further to the north and west of the city, up into these regions, watch for between locally 5 and 15 centimeters of snow. And travel in the 401 is going to be okay once you get to London. Probably Woodstock, London, down toward the 402, Strathroy. It could be a little bit of a problem. 7-day forecast in Toronto. Well, the temperatures stay cold, and then we get a little bit of a brief reprieve for the weekend. And then it dips back down once again, and we stay in that cold Arctic air, at least for this week leading into Friday.
This weather.
Here's what's trending on Twitter. We're going to start things off with hashtag Alberta. The first tweet we have says, what a weird winter here in Alberta, from having to shovel snow off the roof in November to 12 degrees Celsius this evening. I agree. It's been a little odd. John said, if we're getting March weather in January, do we get January weather in March? Loving the heat wave while it lasts. Hashtag Alberta. Margot says we're officially calling for a Saturday sizzle in Alberta here at the Weather Network, looking for before and after pics of the melting. And Slam Media says, wow, and shows us a great picture of the temperature through Calgary.